Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Hello and welcome to Countryside here on Manx Radio. I'm Simon Clark.
And I'm Kirree. I catch up with some visitors that came over for the Royal Manx Agricultural Show from Wales. And I also chat to the secretary from the Southern District Agricultural Show to see how the show actually went.
And I chatted to Bob Kewley, who was at the Southern District Show a couple of weeks back, to share his memories of how the show has changed and developed over the years. Well, Kirree, last week we heard from the Royal Manx Society show. A couple of weeks before that was the Southern Show, very successful one as well. And we didn't have time to fit all the bits and pieces that we had from it. So you caught up with the secretary.
I did indeed. Zoe Hampton, a very busy lady, still finding her feet as a secretary for the show and also their new home at Orrisdale. I caught up with Zoe once the dust had settled to see how it actually went with all of the new layout and any teething problems over the last few years.
It's been really good. We've all pulled together. The weather just thankfully was with us when I think how bad it could have been. I'm just so grateful that rain stayed off until 4 o'clock on Sunday.
It really, really was so lucky. But how was it number-wise? A new layout, the new committee and everyone pulling together. I think it was a good turnout.
It was. It seemed really, really popular. We did lots of advertising and promoting the show. So many people just don't seem to know about the Southern Show. Even people that live down south, I would say to them at school about the show, oh no, we don't know. We don't know about that. Yeah. How can you miss it?
This is true, but now social media, I suppose that'll be a big lift too.
Yeah, we get lots of posts on Facebook. All 3 radio stations are really good to support us.
And I think that's it, isn't it? It's the word of mouth, getting the children involved. The arts and crafts this year, the tent was absolutely heaving with great stuff. A lot of work's been done in that area, I believe.
Yeah, we've really, really pushed the arts and crafts and the produce and the confectionery. We had lots of new classes, trying to get the schools involved, get particular teachers involved to support us.
And that's it, it's getting all the youthful and the colourfulness of it. And lots of new trade stands this year. It's a new layout. How did it all come together?
It seemed really popular. Other years we've tried to sort of put some trade stands here and some trade stands there, and it would never be right. They would want to be in the top field, they would want to be in the bottom field, so just put everybody together and nobody can complain.
And that said, how was it for the trade stand holders?
Really, really good, I believe. No complaints so far. The caterers, everyone seemed really pleased with the whole weekend. Lots of the caterers were running out of food, which is always a good sign.
It really is. And the livestock this year, there's a lot on show, especially in the Manx Lochtons.
Yeah, lots of Lochtons, which is good to see. Lots of beef cattle. There's always room for improvements and expansion, and we would love to get more younger exhibitors involved. So if there's anyone out there that wants to have a go, just come along and have a go. Just try.
Well, and that said, there is a lot of younger animals there available for them to take part, have a go at doing the young handlers classes as well. They don't necessarily need to be a farmer.
No, lots of the farmers will bring their stock along and they will say to the young farmers, if you want to take them into the young handlers class, just have a go. Yeah. Just try.
And what about the layout now? It's all, the dust has settled. Did it work? Is there still more tweaks to be made?
I'm sure there are still more tweaks to be made, but it certainly worked. Moving the main ring to the middle of the field and put all the traders together. Yeah, really pleased with how it worked out.
And obviously there's an awful lot being done with the Southern Nomads up in the field, trying to get the parking right, a bit closer, new entrances being made this year. Did that all come together nicely?
Yeah, Nomads are such a great support to us. They just really look after everybody up in the car park. And I believe that we did have a few issues with delays getting out of the car park, but the lads, they all worked really, really well together, and I've got everybody out and home.
And you talk about them as a team effort, but the show committee itself, the volunteers that you have, I know you're the secretary and you're pulling them all together, and Sarah, the president, but without that team behind you, it would be a different story.
Yeah, I'm really just a small part to what all happens. I don't really have anything to do with the planning of the show field or putting it all together. I'm at home, sat at the computer and the phone, and everyone else is up here doing everything. So yeah, we're really grateful to all the committee and all the members and just everybody that comes to help us.
And us as the host of the actual on the ground side of it, seeing the marquees go up and the time and effort that goes into constructing the showground to make it for them 2 days, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, so much time and effort goes in by so many people. Yeah, and we're just so grateful to everybody that comes and pulls together.
So bigger and better next year?
Hopefully, yes. And nice weather again.
But that said, the one thing that I did really admire was the machinery, the tractor demonstration area, how big the machines are now, even for me as a farmer, to come and get close up to the machinery, which we've never really had on the showground before. That was something that was new this year.
Yeah, we had the new demonstration area. So we had a couple of local contractors that I know quite well to come along, and they just brought all the machinery, and yeah, the kids and adults, they all just love seeing it. And that said, they were able to get on a tractor and go for a ride across the field this year. Now I imagine that would have helped a few people to get up the hill field, I suppose. Yeah, hopefully the plan was to have the tractor and trailer rides, but with moving everything around, we just weren't entirely sure how it would all work. So we just started quite small this year, but watch the space for next year. We might go a bit further.
There we go, a very relieved Zoe Hampton, the Secretary of the Southern District Agricultural Show, on the back of such a successful year.
One of the people who have seen many Southern District agricultural shows was Bob Kewley, and ever keen to have a word with us, telling us about his memories of when he first went to the shows many years ago.
Oh, I've been coming here since I was a little lad, I think, to the Southern Show. It's been in a few different places through the years, and that now it's ended up here like at this farm. I've done quite a bit of combining around here back in the 1950s when combines first come in. But the show it's a good show always, and that you need the farmers of the south decided years ago they wanted to show their own, and that's when they started it. That was long before my time, of course, and then it's just gone on. And it should hope it keeps going forever.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously the other show used to alternate between Sulby and Douglas, didn't it? I mean, did you still go to them ones?
Aye. Yeah. Well, we used to have a firm going selling stuff for horse riding. Back years ago, we used to go to all the shows with the stuff. That's good advertising, going to the shows and letting people see what you had.
But I mean, when you look at the stock that's on show with the modern shows now, they're a lot different breeds, I suppose, than years ago.
There's a lot different. That the old breeds, the Herefords was a breed, and the Shorthorns, they were the ones you went, and then the farm horses Back in the 1940s, there was some wonderful farm horses, that was rode.
Yeah, but they were an essential part of the farm,
yeah, they were. All young farmers, farm lads were taught how to work the farm horses because, my father said that these tractor things were only for the war. And once that was over, they'd be back on farms on the horses.
I suppose people now can be taught they all know how to drive a tractor and they can work the implements, they sort of work themselves. I suppose when you had a horse, you had to know how to work the plough and the animal.
Aye, yes, but the horse, what people didn't realise, the horse knew what you were doing. Once he got trained, you had no need to steer him up the furrow.
No.
He would walk up the furrow, and that all you were watching was the plough, or whatever you were doing. The horse knew, and even horses that they had, the farmers that were selling likes of milk in the likes of around Colby here or anywhere, the horse would know his route.
Yeah.
He would know which is his farm lane to turn up when he was going back home.
Right.
Yeah. No, a horse. Well, I used to say horses got more sense than some people. Whether
Probably
it was,
true there.
whether it was right or wrong, I don't know.
Well, I mean, what was your favourite part of the farming world, Bob?
I think working with the horses when I first left school was hard work. Well, all through my time on the farm was hard work, because you've got all the modern technology now, and like we had, well, when you go back, the turnips, like you were crawling through the ridges thinning turnips, but nobody grows them much now, and you've got a planter that plants the seeds the right distance apart, and that. And it's the same with potatoes. You set them all by hand before the machines come in to drop them down the spout.
Yeah, tough old life, isn't it? But you know, it's kept you fit and healthy, though.
Aye, but even up here, like you see the thrashing mill up the top, like they died out when the combines come in, and I suppose I was to blame for somebody because I was on the combine early in the 1950s.
But a lot easier, though.
Yeah, it was a lot easier than that. But when I'm up here now, looking down round the south here, there must be hundreds of acres that I was combining round here. There's got houses on now.
Aye.
You know, well, back in, I'm not sure what year, in the early 1950s, down in Port Erin there, where ShopRite is now was a field.
Aye.
Yeah. You know.
But a guest today at the show as well?
Aye, oh aye.
Nice honour.
Yes, oh aye. Well, he liked to look after the fellas that was the old fellas that was helpful before.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
good. Well, it's great to see you here, Bob.
Aye, right, thank you very much anyway.
Bob Kewley sharing his memories and opinion, I suppose, and his thoughts about how things have changed during the show over the years, and his time in farming over the years as well, which was nice.
It's always lovely to catch up with Bob, a man of many memories, many stories, but to see how agriculture has revolutionised from the horses through the tractors, the big, huge machinery that was on display at the Southern Show, even in my short time, how it's developed, and huge changes for him over his years.
Yeah, he couldn't get the walking stick up the ladder, that big one that was there, could he? But there you go.
There we are.
You're listening to Countryside here on Manx Radio with Kirree Kermode and myself, Simon Clark. Well, the shows always have plenty of young farmers activity, and there was young farmers from further afield visiting.
We always love to have visitors to the Isle of Man, especially in agriculture, and this year the Welsh young farmers travelled over as part of their international exchange visits that they do. I caught up with a couple of the young farmers while they were on their farm visits after the Royal Manx Agricultural Show at Glendown. Well, Nerys Lewis, welcome to the Isle of Man. I believe this is your first visit from the Welsh Young Farmers Club.
Yes, it's my first time over here and it's been brilliant. The opportunity to see agriculture, meet the locals and see the scenery has been phenomenal.
That is really, really good. But I do believe it's quite a strict process in coming to the Isle of Man. You know, it's not just a young farmers, we'll go on a jolly, a bit of a social to the Isle of Man process.
No, we have a very strong international committee in Wales and I'm currently chair of that. And we have an application process, so fill in a form, send it off, get selected for an interview, you go in front of an interview panel, sell yourself and why you want to go to where you want to go. This year we have over 80 members travelling on 12 different trips across the world, and 8 of us have been lucky enough to come to the Isle of Man, and I've got to say it's been a brilliant time. 8 of us didn't know each other before, we've got on really well, and just to see everybody and the welcome we've had has been phenomenal.
That is really something else, isn't it? But to have an interview, though, Nerys, that's something like unheard of. All these people are active within agriculture, I'm assuming, just wanting to be the best they can.
Yeah, so all young farmers members, lots from agriculture, lots not having anything to do with it. But our international programme really does give people the opportunity to travel and to see something else. I'd never been abroad or done anything. I went for the first time to Northern Ireland 5 years ago and the bugs hit me.
Oh, wow.
And just...
And can you keep applying? Can you go to various other places after that? It's not just a one-off?
No, not a one-off at all. One trip a year. But you can apply and you can see what you can do if you can get the opportunity. People really have seen the world through young farmers, and it's a brilliant thing, and we're glad that it's thriving in Wales, and hopefully we can look and work with the Isle of Man and get you guys back over.
Yeah, well, this is it. The Isle of Man is only a small place. It's obviously a tiny little association. But with travel, you learn so much. The knowledge exchange is phenomenal.
Yeah, it gives you just that insight into something completely different. The chance to actually go and be nosy on someone's farm, not just peering over the hedge, talk to them about their facts, their figures, and then even the non-agricultural side, the social side, going to the show and seeing how it is very similar to home, but we all face different challenges, and you can all learn so much from that and take different ideas and new farming systems home with you.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's broaden the horizons. And are you a farmer yourself?
Yeah, so I'm a beef and sheep farmer at home, and then I also work for a broiler farm. We have over 50 different sites, so yeah, farming is very big, one of my main interests, and hope to be able to continue working in agriculture.
Yeah. And how long have you been involved with the young farmers yourself?
Oh, I wouldn't really like to say that. I joined Young Farmers in 2009. I've done many different roles. It's my second year as international chair. I'm secretary of my club. I've represented Wales at the European Rally in Austria last week, attended the General Assembly there. The people you meet, you really do get friends for life. It's just a brilliant organisation with so many different opportunities. And
at club level, how is it? Is it thriving in the countryside?
So where we are, we're a very small club at the moment. COVID killed us off. We had a lot of our senior members leave. We've gone from 60, 70 members to 20. But the drive is there, the spirit is there, and people want to compete, they want to do well, they want to travel and see different things. We just hosted a club exchange with Scotland. We had 9 Scots come down for the weekend, and it was just phenomenal to welcome them and show them around and do things that we'd never do at home, because you don't do the touristy things when you're there. We take it for granted, and just being able to show that off has been brilliant.
And one of the visitors today, part of your group of 8, you say you didn't know each other beforehand. Angela Thomas, I've met her through the Texel breed, the sheep breed. Again, a very social breed. But to meet people like this from other parts of Wales, taking their interests and everything, it must be great.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and like you can go and you can compete and you meet so many people, but actually spending time with other people gives you them firm relationships. Like the 8 of us are going to be firm friends, and I'm sure we'll be meeting up at the Winter Fair for a pint or 2.
Is that right, Angela?
Pretty sure it'll happen, yes.
Yeah. And how have you enjoyed the Isle of Man? Because I know you're actively involved in the Welsh Young Farmers too.
Yeah, it's been just an incredible opportunity more than anything, and just to see the show, go around the farms, and more than anything, just question the farmers, because we've got things maybe that don't work at home.
This is it, isn't
policy and everything, and the chance to discuss with the Isle of Man and to see the similarities and differences.
And where does your interest lie in particular?
The social aspect, the competing, just meeting new people. You can go anywhere. Like in the show yesterday, the amount of faces you know, even though you've never been to the Isle of Man. That was something.
This is it. Yeah, the Texel judging was done by a Welshman. A very good job, did he do?
I think so, yes.
But outside of the farm, and you're obviously heavily involved in agriculture too.
Yeah, so we farm beef and sheep at home, and got a few pigs and a few horses on the side. So
and so trips like this here for you, seeing yesterday you had the opportunity to go to Allentears in the north, see a pig system there. It might differ from yours.
Yeah, so completely different. So there's photos taken to take home now to try.
And that's it. That's all about it, is it? And like Neris was saying, it's the friendships you create.
Yeah, that's more important than anything. You can go anywhere and you know people.
Yeah.
And it's just so important.
And what do you do day to day?
So I work with the Kirree scab. So it's the sheep eradication programme in Wales. So launched back in May, just to try and get communities talking and to dip sheep and test for scab, and then try and get communities to work together to dip at the same time to try and eradicate scab.
And that said, there is so much resistance to some of these products. It's so vitally important that the farmers get up to speed and obviously, like you say, work together.
Yeah, so like it's only the one product left that you can use to dip sheep, so trying to make sure that people understand the importance of that and using it correctly just to make sure that it's with us for the future.
And that's it. Here on the Isle of Man, I suppose we're quite an organic island. There's maybe something that you might have picked up on the way round.
Yeah, definitely. Although talking to farmers, they don't admit that they're organic. A lot of their practices are very organic based and very much grazing systems, grass production, keep the fields well and everything like that. And the rubbish at home, we have a lot more pests than you guys have here. And that for one is just incredible, because you can tell the condition of your soils, your fields are so much better for that, and not having animals go in there and ruin it. It's really eye-opening.
Nikki Kane, well, the Welsh visitors have been, they're going for the boat now. What a weekend.
Oh, absolutely amazing. They've been an absolute super bunch to have over, and it's just been great how they've got stuck in, they've seen the sites, and they've really got involved and wanted to know more about agriculture on the Isle of Man.
And they have been on a couple of farm visits while they've been here.
Yeah, they've been on loads. They've been to Orrisdale. They went to see Dave and Rob Cool. They've been to Bob Kewley in the north. So no, they've been on so many, and then been down to us at Glendown. So it's been brilliant. It's just been so great for people to welcome them and want to show them around, and great experience, and they've loved it. I think they've soaked up so much. Great questions. And
that's what Neris was saying. International exchanges that they do in Wales is absolutely brilliant where they get to. Friends for life, she said.
Yes, and actually I didn't realise they didn't know each other before coming over, and they'd had to go through a process. They'd had to apply, they'd had to interview just to come over, and I just thought that shone in how eager they were. We had our stock judging at the Royal Show, and they just their knowledge and their scores as well, and the Isle of Man scores. It was great competition, only 2 points in it in the end, so it was a real close competition.
So did the Isle of Man win?
They did. They pulled it out of the bag, and no, they did great well, especially for the Isle of Man, with lots of them showing at the same time. So they'd come down from the cattle lines to quickly do their stock judging, try and catch up, and then off they went again, or from the sheep. So it was great, and all ages as well. I think when we did our main stock judging, we had from the 11, 10-year-olds all the way up. So it was brilliant.
I do think since COVID there has been a surge of young people back into young farmers again. I've never seen the stock judging so busy as this year.
Yeah, no, and we're averaging 40 people, 50 people at the stock judgings, and one time you were scraping together and you're hoping, but no, it seems to be, and everyone's really eager to learn and find out more, not just rock up on the day. They want to know, they want to learn. And the past members, we've had yourself down showing people what to look for. Rob Watterson has been down showing people what to look for, and it's great, and I've learned a lot from them, not just to look at the eyes.
But that said, Nikki, you're part of the federation, you're part of organising it and pulling these young people through life, and the young farmers, there's no better way to do it.
No, and there's such a great team, and a great team coming for each club, and in the federation, Bryony, Sophie, Chloe, Emily, and Will is our leader. And it's so good. And then the committees from each club, and they turn up to everything. It's a big commitment, and actually they're driving their clubs forward, and it's a great team to be part of. I've really enjoyed it, and just brilliant.
And this weekend we had James Radcliffe and his partner Ellery showing the Welsh around, taking them on the Binny bus. People come together to want to showcase the Isle of Man at its very, very best.
Yes, and that's what's really lovely. I'd always heard of Ellery, and it was nice to put a name to her face. So it was brilliant, and to then chat to dames as well. And what was really nice is when doing our stock judging, we needed a judge, and Graham Watty came in, and actually, he came in, he flew in.
He did indeed.
but he did, and he came and filled in. He was like, I used to ask those people, and just, past members coming in to help out and judge, and it was just lovely.
There we are. That was Neris Lewis from the Welsh Young Farmers, and also Nikki Kane from the Isle of Man Federation of Young Farmers.
And of course, the connection with the Isle of Man, with the wonderful Larry Roberts as well, who comes over backwards and forwards and dedicated so much time to the young farmers here and back in Wales.
And it's always great to see Nicky Kane wanting young farmers to come to the Isle of Man. It's up in our game all of the time here, getting our young farmers out on that map as well. And the field day coming up, another day in the young farmers calendar. They're always so busy.
Indeed, great to hear from it all. We'll be back next Tuesday with more from the countryside. So until then, from me, Simon Clark.
And me, Kirree Kermode.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.